Okay, so in this part of the video, we are going to finalize our random password generator application. The last feature which is remaining is this copy password, right? So when I click on the copy button, right, I need to copy the password which is getting generated here. So when I generate the password, right, we need some way to copy this so that I can paste it anywhere else in other application. Hey everyone, this is Sandeep and welcome back to 100 Days of Coding JavaScript. So if I go back to my application, I have my copy button, right? And inside that, I'm just logging copy password logic here. So this is the plan. So when there is a password here, right? When there is a generated password here, when I click on copy, obviously I need to copy, and how to copy a particular password, we're going to ask that to ChatGPT. So let me ask ChatGPT JavaScript copy text from text input. Copy text for text input. Let's ask this question only to ChatGPT. So you can select and execute command method of the input text element to copy its value to the clipboard in JavaScript. Okay, so it's generating the code and I'm going to use this code only. So get the text. So I'm going to copy this. Okay, let it generate. And I'll just go and copy this entire thing. See how helpful. So obviously how we work in the organization, if you don't know how to write anything, we generally search on the Google. But nowadays we are going with the trend, right? We can ask questions to ChatGPT. That's what I'm trying to do here. You don't need to remember everything to become a programmer. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You need to be smart. You should understand how to do things, and you can do it pretty well. Okay, so let's understand this code. This is important that you shouldn't just copy and paste the code. You should try to understand line by line. So get the text input element. So we are grabbing the text input elements. In our case, we know that our text input element is nothing but password input, and we have that, right? So so I don't think so I need this line. I'm going to remove that because it's grabbing using the document. I don't need to do that. So I'm just going to paste it here. Password input dot select. So it's selecting the text input. Okay. Next, it's saying document dot exec command. Now this is the document is an object in JavaScript, and that document has an exec command. Some commands, I believe, and we're using the copy command here. But this function seems to be deprecated. If you see here, the declaration was marked as deprecated, so you shouldn't use this function. There must be something else which we need to find out, and we're going to find that out. But I'm going to use it for now. I think it is deprecated, but they're not saying you cannot use it. Okay. Then I think I need to again target my password input and set selection range. So it's selecting the input, it's copying, and it's setting this selection range. So let's see, by using just this, whether I will be able to copy the password or not. So I'll go back to my application, refresh. Let's generate the password. I'll generate the 6-character password. Generate. Let's try to copy. Copy. Okay, let's see if it has been copied. So I'm going to go and paste. See that? It's getting copied, right? So if you see here, right, so we are able to copy the password, but that method is deprecated. So let's try to find out. I'll tell ChatGPT method has been deprecated. Can you suggest another method? Okay, yes, you're right. Exec command method has been deprecated and no longer recommended to use. Okay, so ChatGPT knows about it. Instead, you can use the clipboard API, which is more modern and a secure way to access the clipboard in JavaScript. Okay. So it got the similar code, right? So the only part which is which has been changed is the copy the selected text to the clipboard using the clipboard API. So we can use something called navigator.clipboard.write text and then text copied and something like that. Okay, let's copy and paste this part. And I'll go back to my code editor. And instead of this, I'm going to use this. So what is happening here? Let's try to understand. So just do like this, some little bit of formatting. So we are using the navigator is another object in JavaScript. In that they have something called a clipboard. So an object has another object and which has a method called write text. And we don't have an input element, we have password input. So it's basically grabbing the password input dot value and text copied to the clipboard if it is successful, and it is returning a promise, right? So navigator.clipboard.write text actually returns a promise, and we can see, like, we can log if the text is copied to the clipboard, and if there is any error, it's going to say error copying the text. Let's save and try this. So I'll go back. I'll try to generate 7-character password this time. Copy. Okay, text copied to the clipboard. I can go to the new tab and paste. See that. Okay, we are getting, so our text is getting copied, but one more small feature I want to add in this application, so when I'm clicking on copy, I need to show a small modal here, just an indicator to the user, because user is not going to open his developer tool and check, okay, whether the text has been copied or not. We need to give some kind of hint or some kind of message or a modal message, right, to the user that the password text has been copied. So I'm going to generate a modal here, just here, right, on top of this window, this password generator window, right? And to do that, obviously, we need to create a modal. And how are we going to create a modal? So I'm going to write a function here, create copy modal, and let's write this function just above here. So function create copy modal, and inside this function, I'm going to generate the HTML for the modal. And to do that, we're going to use some functions, right? So document dot like create element. So I'm going to create an element, div element. Let's create div element. Okay, and it's going to return that div element to us. So const, I'll say modal. I'll call it copy modal. Okay, something like that. So it's going to create a modal, a div element actually, not modal. And I'm going to target that modal, copy modal dot text content. Let's put some text content into it. Like maybe I'll say copied, something like this. Let's add a class to this component. So I'll add a class using the class list function dot add. And I'll add a class name called copy dash modal. And if I remember correctly, I previously did some practice around it. So let me explain this function to you first. I think this is something new to you. So we know, like, there are methods in JavaScript to target the DOM elements. We can use document.query selector to grab something in the DOM, right? You can use the document to create elements also inside the DOM. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm saying document.create element div. You can create any element using this create element function. So you can create paragraph, you can create anchor tags, you can create images, any HTML element using this create element function. And it returns that HTML object, that element object. And then we get all the properties and methods, I would say, like the style property or the text content property or the inner HTML property, which we can set. And here I just need to set the text content. So I said set the text content. And to add the classes, right? Like how we add classes in HTML, something like this. If I need to do same thing in JavaScript, I can use that particular DOM object. It got something called a class list object, and I can add multiple classes into it. Okay, So obviously this is going to create a copy modal, and I have written the CSS for copy modal already, if you see here, right? So I have set something like position absolute, top 15%, some background color, some padding, border radius color, and transition. Actually, I don't need transition. I'm going to remove that. So that, just to make it look good, the modal. Now, let's go step by step. I'm just going to add this modal to body. Okay, so I'll say document dot body dot, and this is my method to add any HTML element inside our body. I mean, the application body, we can use append child method, and I'm going to append my modal. Now, when I'm going to click on create copy modal, it's going to call this function. It's going to create this div element with the text content of copied, and all the styles will be applied, and it's going to get added into the body. I'll show you. So let's go back. Now I'm going to generate, even without generating a password also we can do the copy, but let me generate it. So it has generated the password, right? When I click on copy, you'll be able to see that modal is getting added here at the bottom. So what is the reason, right? So I'm seeing just copy and it's coming here. Why? So maybe something wrong with my CSS. So I have set the class list as copy dash modal. I think I have the same class name here, copy dash modal, but somehow it is not working. So class list copy modal dot class list dot add copy modal. Okay, let me debug. So I'm going to open my elements panel. Okay, and where's the modal actually? Can you see the modal somewhere? We have a button, we have a script. So where is the modal? So I'm going to target it. Is it getting added inside a script or a panel? So obviously I'm targeting the body. Okay. It's adding a button here. Oh, something is getting wrong with the button. Let me check. Copy button, type button. That's what I have said here. So let me debug it, and I'll come back to you. Let me debug. So again, I did a really silly mistake here. You see here, I'm appending something called a copy button, which is my button, right? I don't need to append the copy button here. I need to append the copy modal. And you must be seeing this while watching the video, right? I'm doing some kind of typos. So this is the problem with the live coding, and I accept that. So I'll go back now. Let's try to generate some password, maybe 5 characters this time. I'm going to click on copy. See that? That modal is here. But that modal, I just want to show for a fraction of a second, maybe like a couple of seconds, and then this modal should go away. This is just, kind of notification to the user that the password has been copied, right? So now it's not going away. I want to remove that. So to do that, obviously I'm going to append it to DOM, but I want to append it, and then I want to remove it actually. So let's do this. Let's keep the modal here. Then after some time, I'm going to use set timeout for that. So let's say, suppose after 2 seconds, I want to remove that modal, right? So I'm going to write something, some callback here. So when after 2 seconds, after the modal has been added, I want to remove that. So how to remove that? So again, we can use document dot body dot remove child method. So like we have append child to append something into the DOM. We have a remove child also to remove the element from the DOM, and I'm going to remove the copy modal. Okay. Save. Okay, let's generate the password. Let's click on copy. See that? It has came. It's gone after 2 seconds. So this seems to be working fine, but there is an issue which I would like to tell you. I can click on copy. I can click on copy again and again and again. You see that lots of modals are getting added here. They're going, but you see that they're coming and going. So I don't want it to happen. We can keep like that also, maybe like a feature, but I want to handle that situation, and we need to clear the timeout also, right? So I'm going to grab this. So I'll create a let variable here, let id is equals to null. Initially it will be null, and I'm going to store the, so set timeout function returns an id just to identify uh, this function related activity, right? So that we can clear it later on, because setting a timeout and not clearing it can cause issues in your JavaScript application, can cause memory leaks. So that's what I want to avoid. So here I'm going to check, obviously. So we have the ID, right? So I'm just going to clear timeout before setting a new timeout. So that could be a very good practice, just clear it. So obviously I'm going to add copy modal, but I'm going to add copy modal, or I'm going to create copy modal only when it is not there in the memory. So I'm going to get this variable, const variable here, and initially it will be null, right? So here I'm going to check if, obviously, and I need to use the function called document dot query selector, and I'm going to check if we have the copy modal already there in the DOM, right? And if it is not there, then only I'm going to create it. Otherwise, I'm not going to create it. So if it is not there, I'm going to create it, I'm going to append it, and then I'm going to set timeout, and I'm going to remove the copy modal. So this is the fix for that bug. Let's try it out. So let's generate a 6 character. Maybe I'll use special characters also. Okay, I'm going to click on copy, and we are getting some error. Constant variable. Okay. So I need to convert this into a let. Let's try again. 5, generate, copy, 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 copy. See that? And it's going. So I can click copy any number of time, and I can show you. Hold on. If I click on copy, right? See the copy modal is getting added only once in the DOM, and it's getting removed also. Cool. So our application, the random password generator is working fine. I know it took around 3-4 days maybe to create this application, but this is a really good application to practice. I hope it has helped you, to understand how to write simple applications in JavaScript in just one file. I mean, there is a scope of, refactoring this code. Maybe, I'll think about it. Maybe if we need a refactoring video related to this, or I'm going to cover refactoring as a part of bigger project also. Like some of the points I would like to mention, you don't need to add all of this event listener and store all of these variables, include number, include symbol. Probably you can remove it. I covered it because I wanted to explain different events. So, because you can just grab these values directly here by targeting those elements. Like say suppose I want to check whether the number checkbox has been checked or not. So I don't need to check for include number, something like that, right? Maybe I can write dot checked, and that will give me that value. But I have created the variables. So just some of the pointers or some of the ideas, I'm throwing here, what is not needed and what part of this application code, you can remove or you can improve, but nothing wrong in having these variables also here. So with that, I'm going to stop here. I think this application is helpful to you. You learned something good in JavaScript, how to create small applications in JavaScript. There are more applications coming. So until then, you take care. Goodbye. And thanks for watching the video.